Hi, this is Toby from the Adventure People.
Hi, this is Shona from the Adventure People. I'm one of the new adventure experts here.
And today we're talking about Guatemala. Have you ever been?
I have. I used to be a tour leader for 10 years and I probably spent about maybe 6 months in total working in Guatemala, and I actually chose to go back last year. I do love going to a new destination, but Guatemala, my boyfriend had never been and I just knew that he would love it. It's just one of the places that I would choose to go back to,
Okay.
which is unusual for me.
And why did you choose to go back to Guatemala above, say, anywhere else?
Just a mixture of, it's easy to organise, but it's just really, just such a relaxing destination, really lovely food. But I believe you've been, you probably agree.
Yeah, I've been. I talked about some of that in one of the last videos.
I love mountains. I love being surrounded by mountains, and you can't get much better than Guatemala. The kind of volcanic scenery, the mix of activities, the standard of the way that the activities are organised is really high, and the culture it changes from village to village. The scenery from the mountains to the Caribbean coast, the different historical sites you can see out with the ones you will have heard of. Obviously Tikal is a highlight, but there's a lot more to see. You could go back there again and again and still be seeing new things.
Nice. So what are the main highlights? So you mentioned Tikal. Where's Tikal?
So Tikal is in the northeast of the country. It's a really incredible Mayan, I'd say ruin, but that doesn't really describe how much it is. It's like you can walk around for hours and hours and just be finding, and it feels a bit like, I really like it because it feels like you're exploring for yourself. You're like, I've just found this. Like through the rainforest. And there's loads of wildlife to see as well, especially birds, monkeys, and just incredible ruins, some of which you can climb up and kind of have a bit of a view over and see just the peaks of the ruins. Really interesting history, and just an incredible place to be.
It is amazing. I remember getting to the top of one of the ruins and you can watch the sun rise or set.
Yeah.
And from where the ruins are so high, you can see all above the treetops of the rainforest
really
as well.
Amazing. And the sounds around you, like the monkeys and the birds, it's a really special site. I spoke to some people that maybe thought Copan, which is just across the border in Honduras, but it's quite a common day kind of side from any trip in Guatemala, because the detail there is more kind of maintained. But I personally think Tikal is unmatched.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I think it was unrivaled. Even the sites in Mexico like Chichén Itzá and Tulum, Tikal for me is number one.
Yeah, it's just the atmosphere is just incredible there. And then we've got Lake Atitlán, which I'm sure you've been to. Is in the highlands. It's kind of the three big players of Guatemala: Tikal, Lake Atitlán, which is in the highlands, not very far from the airport that you'd fly into, and then Antigua, which is the old colonial capital. And all of them deserve their reputation, I would say.
Yeah.
Some places you do get to and you're like, I'd heard about this, but I'm not so impressed, but those are not them.
Yeah, and Atitlan's massive, isn't it? It's this huge lake surrounded by, lots of tiny little villages and towns around it. And then there are some big ones like San Pedro and I can't remember some of the others. Panachel.
I was going to say that, but then I was like, can I pronounce this?
Yeah.
Panachel.
But there's lots to do on the lake as well. You can hire bikes and go cycling. You can hire kayaks, go kayaking. Yeah,
there's zip wires, I believe.
Yep.
And there's loads of amazing shops. And just it's just mind-blowing, the scenery. It's just so beautiful. We went back there when I went back last year. And we stayed there for 4-5 days, even though I've been like probably 20 times. It's just, you can't be just waking up with that scenery, with the lake and the volcanoes. It's really, really beautiful. And Antigua is just lovely, again, surrounded by volcanoes, and really lovely food. So much choice. Lots
of vegetarian options as well, actually.
I am a vegetarian.
Yeah, perfect.
And yes, there is lots of vegetarian options. Lovely avocados.
Yeah.
Love an avocado. What was your favourite part, Toby?
Apart from Tikal, I think Lake Atitlán as well. Just it's so peaceful and so quiet. The towns just seem to go in slow motion. Everyone just walks at a really calm pace, and there's lots to do as well. So yeah, I remember taking a kayak out for the whole morning, and just the water's completely still, and you can kayak over to the neighbouring town. Yeah. Like pitch your kayak up, go for a walk around there, get back in your kayak, and then find somewhere to jump in. Yeah. Yeah, really good.
Have you been to Rio Dulce?
No, is that the east coast?
Kind of just, well, not just. You just head out in the direction of Copan and then out towards the coast. It's like the Caribbean coast, and you can get off your bus or etc. Quite a few tours do that, and either kayak or get a boat trip down the Rio Dulce down to Livingston, which is one of the kind of slightly bigger places on there. Well, bigger, it's quite small. You can only access it by boat. It's really different kind of culture, Caribbean culture, from probably where the place that you've just come from, so that's a really lovely thing to do as well. It's also a really beautiful boat ride with loads of different kind of birds, and people fishing and that kind of thing. It's really nice.
I can't remember the volcanoes in Guatemala. Are there any that you can hike from memory?
There is. Many. You can, there's a handful of kind of ones that are like usually something to take on. You need a little bit of preparation. Like Acatenango, I think, is the most common one from Antigua. It's quite close to Antigua, and I haven't personally done that, but I hear that that's an incredible one to do, because you get a very close view of Fuego, which is the most active volcano, and Pacaya is also really easy to organise. That
was the one. I remember Pacaya. That's the one where you can walk up it, and at the bottom they give you a bag of marshmallows.
Yeah, I did not get the marshmallows. Everyone had told me about the marshmallows. I was like, where is my marshmallows?
Yeah, I thought it was a joke, but I was like, all right, I'll take some marshmallows. And then when you get to the top, you literally are walking up this volcano, and then you see cracks in the floor where there's lava, and you can see the lava just flowing down. And then when you get to the top, you get a stick and you just toast the marshmallows on the volcano. It's amazing.
I did get that.
Yeah, but if you drop a marshmallow into the cracks in the ground, it will just flame up like this. It doesn't just like melt casually.
Yeah. I mean, I say I didn't get marshmallow, I was still like, this is the best however many dollars that I've ever spent. It was such good value. A lot of trips they do it as an optional, or it's included, but I think most of the time it's an optional, but it's normally not very much money. Yeah. I would definitely recommend that if that's an option.
So a lot of our customers ask if it's safe to go to Guatemala. It's somewhere maybe people don't really know much about. So is it safe? You spent a lot of time there, so you should know.
Yes, from my experience it is safe. Like anywhere, you don't go to certain places, maybe in the capital city, but you would say the same about any city in the UK or wherever you're coming from. I think probably the association is there was a civil war for a very long time, and maybe you've seen quite a lot of things about that in the news, but that's been over quiz here, but I think since the early 90s. It's not it's kind of old news now. There is pockets where maybe there's still issues, but there would be places that you wouldn't really just happen upon if you were on a tour. Yeah. I've never felt in danger in Guatemala, ever. Especially in the places that tourists tend to go. Antigua, I'm walking around in the evening by myself, like after going, I've just never even crossed my mind to think I should feel worried about this.
I think that's the beauty of going on a tour as well. You're with a local tour guide who knows the area very well, knows where to take you, where not to take you. So you'll have the security of the whole group as well, because most of our tours, you'll be with people with maybe 10 to 16 people, so you won't feel alone. You won't have to go anywhere on your own. You can always have that safety of the group.
Yeah. How did you get there, Toby, when you went?
I was actually part of a larger trip, so I came down from Belize actually.
Okay.
So I was in Key Corker in Belize, and then I.
That's also really nice.
Yeah, we
should
should
go to Belize.
definitely do a video on Belize. I took a coach from Belize to Flores, which is the town where you
that's
usually.
Beautiful. Flores as well.
Yeah, lovely lake. That's where if you want to go to Tikal, you'll probably be based in Flores. So a lot of our tours touch Flores. But I think you can get flights, probably not direct, but all flights go to Antigua, I believe. So some of the time you might go via somewhere in Europe, or you might go via Panama or via Mexico. But I think all in all, I think the flight times are about 15, 16 hours, but I'm not sure.
We went last year via Mexico, and we actually did a bit of a stop off on the way back in Mexico City. But you can normally, I think, having looked last year, if you're coming from the UK, speaking from a London base, you'd go via either Madrid or the US or Mexico, and we found that Mexico was a little bit better for us. And they're normally really good transfers. So yeah, it was super easy.
Yeah, and we don't sell flights at the moment, but if you do want to go to Guatemala and you're just worried about how to get there, just contact us and we can do all the research for you. Just let us know your preferred departure airports and which dates you're looking at, and we'll just let you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so when's the best time to go?
Well, it's quite close to the equator, so you get fairly good weather all year. But if you're really like, I need it to be sunny all the time, and you get maybe slightly clearer views between November and April, which is obviously great because you're escaping the winter a little bit here if you're coming from the UK. And out with that, it tends to rain a little bit more. But normally it's not like rain, like Scottish rain, like all day. It's rain, you're going to get an hour, it's going to chuck it down, and then you can have a lovely coffee, maybe a beer, I don't know, and then carry on. It's really not going to rain all the time. And having said that, also your flights at that time of year, like most of the world, when the weather's not quite so good, you might get your flights a little bit cheaper, so it might be worth it. And your tour as well, sometimes.
True.
So I hope you enjoyed finding out a little bit more about Guatemala and you found that useful in your adventure research. If you're interested in looking at any of our trips that we do to Guatemala, then you can find the links below.
Yep, thanks for watching guys. Bye bye.